He left a man in New York City. She broke her home in New Orleans. They made their way to California. Sweet dreams, children, sweet dreams. They hit it off in a Greyhound station when she kicked the cigarette machine and woke him up hard from his nap beside it. Woke him up hard from his sweet dreams. He talked about his sugar daddies. She talked about her mean Marine. They settled down in seats adjoining, sharing sweet dreams, sweet dreams. Well, there's no man to sail in your heart to when you're dancing across the TV screens. No husband to beat you when you're in the movies. Just sweet dreams, children, sweet dreams. Run away to another skin, a tough one, a pretty one that won't let the badness in. Now he's keeping house for a big producer who pays for the classes and the limousines. And she's in a bar, passed out with whiskey, dreaming sweet dreams, still dreaming sweet dreams. Run away to another skin, a tough one, a pretty one that won't let the sadness in, won't let the madness win. There is a sidewalk in California where they put the stars right at your feet, and people delight in stepping on them. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John McKeano.
And Mr. David Campbell.
Don't want to smother you, don't want to be too cold, don't want to get lost in the ideal vision of a love we've all been sold. Don't want to write a thesis here, but I do tend to analyze. We do tend to think too much, and something spontaneous dies. There's a tightrope between us and quicksand below. It's hard to stay cool on a tightrope when you know that I know that you know that I know. We're putting our best foot forward. Every shake at your end of the line turns me into a jerky clown, ignoring the voices that are trying to talk me down. Don't want to lose my heart, don't want to get it wrong, don't want to break the flow and grow apart before too long. Can't take it so serious. over-organize. You shoot down a possibility, and something spontaneous dies. There's a ballroom between us. We forget there's more than one dance. It's hard to relax and let go when you're sure if you blow it, you've blown your big chance. We move toward each other like we're balancing books on our heads. Enormous psychology books. Why don't we take a look at the comics instead? Don't wanna beat a dead horse. Don't want to give up too soon. Don't wanna read a romance novel with the shade pulled down and miss the moon. Don't wanna be critical here, but you're just about as bad as I. Pull up a chair, we'll have a talk about how we talk about how we talk too much and still lose touch and still get tempted to disguise how we tend to think too much and something spontaneous dies. Good evening, everybody.
Hi there.
Hello, John.
Hello, Dave. 2 cups of tea, huh?
2 cups of tea, buddy.
Whoa,
I am
look out.
rock and roll.
Look out, everybody. He's a maniac on 2 cups of tea.
I know. It's the little things when you're a parent. How you going, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for coming along today.
Yes. So, David and I met about 17 years ago
17 years ago.
in New York.
I was from Sydney.
I was from New York. And he had just come to the United States for the first time. And I was playing a song, actually the first song that we did, Sweet Dreams. A wonderful songwriter, Amanda McBroom, most known for the song The Rose, was doing a concert and she was singing Sweet Dreams in the show. And she asked me if I would come and accompany her, and of course I did.
I saw the show.
He saw the show,
Yeah.
and afterwards, there's a woman who is sort of the patron saint of New York cabaret. Lovely, supports everybody, takes photos of their shows, passes out flyers, and can be a little annoying in that she's very passionate. And after the show that I played with Amanda, she came over and she was passionately pulling on my shirt, saying, "There's this Australian guy, and I've heard him sing, and he's really good, and he has to sing your songs." And then she dragged David over, and I was like, "Oy, whatever, okay, fine." Although, like the accent, I enjoyed the accent.
Oh, good.
And
I'm glad I had a positive
He
job.
was kind of cute.
New Yorkers are so rude.
No, anyway, so that very New York thing happened where we were both going uptown. I live uptown, his hotel was uptown, and so he suggested that we share a cab, which we did. And we went out for coffee and chatted, and I thought, oh, this is a very sharp little fella.
How delightful.
Well, and then a couple of days later, he came over and we sat around my piano and played through some songs, and I heard him sing, and then I was like, whoa, wait a minute, something very special is happening here. And then I wanted him to sing my songs.
Yeah, and I've always loved John's songs. I mean, for me, I just germinated towards him straight away. I felt like, you know, this is a good partnership. We should be friends. This part of the show reminds me of that bit in When Harry Met Sally. You know all the bits? No, you know all the bits in between? It's like, he's from Brooklyn, we used to live next door to each other. I'm from Sydney, we've known each other, we were together 17 years. My back hurts.
We met at Carnegie Hall. Right. So then we did start making music together, and we have on and off for the last 17 years. I started playing piano when I was just a little kid. My grandmother had a piano and lived next door to us, and she would babysit me. So from the time I was like a year old, I started noodling around on the piano. I still only play by ear. I don't read music.
Yeah, it doesn't read music, this guy.
Well,
I know, right? Crazy. Yeah, clapping.
It's an idiot savant thing. Heavy on the idiot part, but it just happens, whatever. But it's nice that it impresses people.
Yeah.
So, and then as sort of a natural progression, when I was in high school, I started writing songs. And the songwriting really was my journal. I would write songs when I would feel something intensely, certainly as you do when you're a teenager. And they were often yearning, pining love songs, as you do when you're a teenager. That didn't change, sadly, all that much, even as I got older, as you will hear. But the relationships didn't last very long. And so at the very least, I got songs out of them.
Yeah.
So it came to the point where I would just grade a relationship on how many songs I got out of it. Like, well, that was a 2-songer. So we're going to do a few songs for you now, and the first one is, in fact, a 1-songer. That moment when somebody smiles and your whole world lights up and you're instantly smitten. The second song is a bit unusual for me in that I wrote it and went, nah, I don't think so. Put it away. Forgot about it for almost a year, strangely, and then rediscovered the lyric almost a year later and thought, oh, how did this go? Luckily, I remembered the music, and I started playing it and kind of became obsessed with it. And now
it's a great song. It's
my favorite song that I've ever written. And the third song is the newest song in the set. The first song, That Smile, is the oldest song. This one's the newest song. I was going through a rough time, not a few years ago, and sort of pulled back and looked at life and death, and this song came out. So
let's do it.
Okay.
That smile that cracks your face, it cracks me up. It cracks down hard on my resistance to the love me in your eyes. And when you smile that lightning way you do away with gray by flashing bites of blue behind my cloudy skies. I know you're capable of glowing in the dark, and I know you're kissable for grinning up that spark, to warm the deepest part of me, to shine some sense on all I can be, to help my aspirations meet their mark. With that smile, you bear your strength, you bear your weight of all the disappointment scraping through this life can bring. And when you smile that sunrise way you light a lesson in the art of sliding through the worst of anything. I know you're capable of glowing in the dark, and I know you're kissable for grinning up that spark, to warm the deepest part of me, to shine some sense on all I can be, to help my aspirations meet their mark. And even though we've barely met, you smile one smile I can't forget, the basis of some grand internal wars. You see, I think I'm falling for that crazy smile of yours. In the dark, and I know you're kissable for grinning up that spark, to warm the deepest part of me, to shine some sense on all I can be, to help my aspirations meet their mark. And even though we barely met, you smile one smile I can't forget, the basis of some grand internal wars. You see, I think I'm falling for that crazy smile of Sometimes I think my heart will burst like a balloon inside my chest, with all the love that's waiting here unexpressed. Fingers that ache to intertwine, warmest of chords but missing tune. Where is the laugh to echo mine? Send it soon. The words my lips would form, the circle these two arms would make, safe and warm. Someone could be safe and warm. But maybe the love we yearn to give can find a release some other way, coloring how we choose to live every day, the kindness we can share. The kindness we can share, the comfort these two arms might lend in despair. Someone's always in despair. Still, I'm longing to meet that pair of eyes, dark as the night or endless blue, holding a light I'll recognize, something clear, something true, something that seems to mean something I haven't seen since you. Suddenly finding myself with a book and pen, hearing this fickle muse whispering once again. Maybe there's something important she needs to share. Maybe I'll write it down, maybe I'll really care. Things change, things die, she says. Learn how to say goodbye. Things fall, things fly, she says. Sun like a rubber ball floats in a sea of sky. Danger lies waiting in even the lightest touch. Friction will break your heart if you let it mean too much. My knees are knotted from kneeling before your throne. Time that I hobble off peacefully on my own. Things change, things die, certainly you and I. Things pause, things pass. Surely this patch of grass, surely this sparkling day, maybe it's all okay. Natural as a cloud covering the sun, natural as the dirt covering a loved one, natural as a laugh slipping through a mask, natural as the questions a child will ask. Tell me, how long can a hummingbird hang mid-air, not going up or down, placidly hovering there? And what kind of toll is it taking to flap so fast, simply to stay in place, watching the world slip past? Things fall, things fly. There was a time I tried. Things change, things die. Even the Milky Way, even the USA. Things fly, things fall. Sure as a boy with wings longs to look down on things. Wings into wings fail. Better to trust the sail of a sturdy ship at a steady clip as you head for home.
This next song is part of a two-songer, but I'm only going to do one of the songs. So the first of the two songs of this two-songer, I had just broken up again. And David often says that if I had been in a monogamous relationship all this time, there wouldn't be any songs.
Short show.
Tragic. Yes. Well, mime, maybe. Anyway, so I had just written the first of these two songs, and it was a very sappy, I love you, why don't you want me song. And it was, the lyric was sitting on the table by my bed. I was lying in bed, and then a whole new and I think far healthier emotion swept over me. Rage. On my bedside table is a note from Stephen Sondheim and a pair of wire glasses and the lyric to a new song which I'll never play for you because it's far too sentimental and I don't want you to think I care enough to write a mushy love song now that you and I are really through. Oh, by the way, 2 bills are also there. One for the cable, which has really kept me sane throughout a breakup. Damn, I swore I wouldn't dwell upon a breakup. Well, the other is my Visa bill, a little heavier with all the junk I bought to kill the pain, to fill the space until I face the fact that you and I are definitely through. There's my talking clock now set to get me off to work the new job you don't know I got. It's not impressive, it won't make you think I'm doing well without you. Actually, I'm not so hot, I can barely hack it. And there are those earplugs I still wear to help sleep tightly through the nightly New York racket. Did you find one recently? Did it make you think of me and cry so hard you couldn't see? I hope so, but it really shouldn't matter. I also fondly hope you're growing fatter. There's a lamp that never makes me think of you. We didn't shop for it together, and you never put the lampshade on your head. It's by the bed so I can see, to fill my journal with the 3 gazillion reasons why we're better off apart. Or rather, why I'm better off without you. You, of course, have lost the greatest catch you'll ever have, and you will realize how much you care and languish in complete despair until your dying day, which won't be soon because you're so damned healthy with your veggie diet and your yoga, which I tried that time I had that awful cold. It nearly killed me, but I did it to impress you, since I never did believe that you could love me just for me. On my bedside table, there are 3 stones, which I'm told have healing energy. They say you have to touch them all the time, or they'll disintegrate. I feel like I'll disintegrate if someone doesn't touch me soon. But there were years before I met you, and I had my note from Sondheim, and my cable, and my visa, and my talking clock, and earplugs, and my healing stones and journal to unwind me and remind me that I always have myself, and that I always have the lyric to a new song, and a lamp that never makes me think of you. Thank you.
Man, you showed him.
I wish you could all write songs and sing them like that. It's cathartic. It's very helpful when you're trying to get over somebody. That was fun.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I'm having a good time. Yeah. You guys having a good time? Yeah. What are they going to do?
It's working.
So I was minding my own business, living in Los Angeles, writing songs out of my own experience, which I thought were pop songs. They're not pop songs. But I wanted to be like Billy Joel or Elton John, one of those piano-playing singers, so Joni Mitchell, one of those singer-songwriter types. And nobody was interested. I got a lot of rejection letters, and I was waiting tables and playing, weddings and bar mitzvahs and doing anything I could do to make enough money to live, and sending my songs out without getting a single response. Well, all of a sudden, in 1987, I got a phone call from a fellow named Stephen Schwartz from New York. I had no idea who he was, but he, as some of you may know, wrote Godspell, Pippin, The Magic Show, a little show you might have heard of called Wicked, as well as some Disney and DreamWorks. I mean, incredibly prolific and brilliant songwriter, but because he was in the world of theater, and at that point, the movies hadn't come out yet that he wrote, I had no idea who he was. But I knew he was some famous guy, and nobody else was calling me, so the fact that he was even remotely interested was thrilling to me. He was coming out to LA, and he wanted to get together and hear more of my songs. Fantastic, of course. So he came out, and he was staying at a home in the Hollywood Hills. That was actually the most exciting thing to me because I'd never been to a home in the Hollywood Hills. And I got there, and we spent the afternoon around the piano and played songs for each other. And I thought, he's very good, this Stephen Schwartz. He writes very good songs. And we just hit it off. It was just an artistic and personal connection that has lasted until this day. We've been best friends ever since. And very early on, when he started to get acquainted with my work, he said, I think there's a theatrical element inherent in what you do, and you would probably be very good at writing for musical theater. Now, I didn't know anything about musical theater, and I wasn't really that interested in it, and it didn't seem nearly as cool as writing pop songs and being a pop star, but they weren't interested in that. And so I, kind of thought about it, and then the clincher was, a few years after that, I got a phone call from Stephen Sondheim, who had heard some of my songs. You may have heard of him. And he said the same thing. He said, you might want to think about writing for theater. So I moved to New York in 1992. And fairly shortly thereafter, a Sondheim show called Passion was playing on Broadway. And I went to see it with Steve's then partner, Peter Jones, and was just swept away by, his brilliance, of course. And afterwards, we went back to their brownstone and were sitting around playing Steve's piano. And I mean, I'd been there before, but this felt, after just seeing his show, I just thought, I am so cool. Here I am playing Sondheim's piano. And so feeling kind of pumped up and a level of self-confidence that I rarely do, I went out to a bar.
Whoa.
Which I never do.
Never
do that. But I went out to a bar, and there, behind the bar, tending bar, was basically Apollo, the most handsome man I have ever seen in my entire life.
Wait, what? You're gay?
What, you're not?
It's been debated.
Gotcha. Touche.
Zing.
Yep, zing, bazinga. Yeah. So anyway, there he was, and I thought, how do I talk to this demigod? What do you do? I genuflect? What do I do? How do you... So a friend of mine was there, and he said, oh, he's a musical theater actor, and he's a really nice guy. You just talk to him. So I had an idea. I had the playbill from Passion, and I thought, well, if he's a musical theater guy, and I went over and I ordered a drink and plunked down the playbill. And it worked like a charm. He said, I've seen it 4 times, this is my favorite show, oh my God. And we talked for till 4 in the morning. I gave him my card, went home, and this lyric to this song, never has a lyric come through so quickly. It just poured out, I think, seeing Passion, and it just was like automatic writing, it was amazing. And then I slept for a couple of hours, and then I wrote the music, which came equally quickly. Except the music sounded very much like the music of Passion, which is not a good thing,
Oh, this happiness.
Right.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff.
Beautiful stuff.
How could that not haunt your soul?
So it just embedded itself in me, and I was kind of spitting it out again, and I thought, what am I going to do? So then I added a little chunk of lyrics at the beginning about Passion and about the playbill and stuff that made it an homage rather than a ripoff, which I thought was pretty clever.
Take that, lawyers.
So, yeah. Actually, Steve really likes the song, so we're okay. So then I made a demo of it, and I brought a cassette. Remember cassettes?
Oh, no, wait, there's a child over here.
Explain.
Cassettes are like a little plastic, and we used to put music on it. It was long before,
Right.
I don't think you'd even download it.
No.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I used to like the TDK-90.
Yeah.
That was
Oh, yeah.
my favorite.
Think of it as a small 8-track.
Yeah.
No, that won't help.
No, that's not
Anyway, so I brought a cassette back to the bar the next night and said, here, the combination of seeing Passion and meeting you inspired me, and I wrote you this song. This is the song that I wrote.
Oh, no, wait, so I got to be you?
God help you, you do.
I'm going to be you in the bar. Okay.
I'm afraid so.
All right. They're going to be Adonis.
Okay,
Collectively.
sure.
Sure.
They look good, they could do that.
I flashed the playbill from that Sondheim show, still too present in my mind. You asked if I'd just seen that Sondheim show, and didn't I love it? And isn't it encouraging that love can be blind? I laughed and said, one hates that leading character in proportion to how desperately they've shown their own need. I said, I really loathe that character, and you graciously agreed. You know, I don't do this sitting in bars. It must show as I stumble through this, bearing my past and cataloging scars, opening to you, not something that I normally would do. Sure, the alcohol and smokescreen make it easier, drink by drink, flirt by flirt, vertical mile by mile, climbing through the rocks and the dirt to the top of the smile you bestow on anyone who reflects you golden in his eyes? Was a hint of promise in that smile, or simply common courtesy, platonic curiosity, more than there will ever be? Were you really seeing me, possibly admiring my style, feeling some connection, or were you merely mesmerized by your own adorable, adored reflection? You're too young, I'm too old. Who knows, maybe I'm not. You're too beautiful, I'm too plain. It's impossible, it's a joke. But somehow while we spoke, I forgot. Did I say the right thing? Was I clever? Was I crude? Should I have stuck with a disinterested, polite thing? Was I forward to the point of being rude? When I suddenly grew shy, did my charm trickle dry? Or did you find my shyness charming? When I handed you my card, was it alarming or delightfully disarming? I can't guess. As I bolted for the door, did I leave you wanting more, or wishing I'd monopolized you less? I stayed as long as I could stall, and now I'm home again, already trying far too hard not to wait for you to find my card and call.
Well, it took him 5 days to call. And by the third day, I was playing the song over the phone for people saying, is it too intense? I know it's very intense, but is it too intense?
It's a little intense.
It's a little intense. I know. Anyway, so I don't know if you guys are like me. I know David is not like me in this respect, but I get very fearful when somebody presents something, a challenge to me, a creative challenge, or an offer to do something. I always think, oh, I couldn't possibly do that. Now, what I've taken to doing as I've gotten older is when I'm afraid of doing something, I just say yes and move forward and learn and grow from the experience, even if I fall flat on my face. And one of those experiences, Stephen Schwartz would tell me when he was writing the DreamWorks animated films and Disney animated films, would tell me about the experience of doing that and what it was like to write within a corporate structure where people all the way up the ladder would critique what you're doing and change things and make you write 1 million extra songs, and all in the hopes of pleasing Jeffrey Katzenberg, who was at the top of the pyramid there. So I thought, oh, I could never do that. Oh my gosh. And of course, a year later, DreamWorks called and they wanted me to do that. And I really wanted to say no because I was scared. And I did say yes. Well, I'm glad I did. It was a good experience. And the movie is called Joseph, King of Dreams. And it's the story of Joseph, the Bible story of Joseph and the coat. So I had written, this was the one we're going to do is the second song that I wrote for the movie, and David happened to be in New York, and I asked him if he would sing on the demo of the song for me to present to DreamWorks, and I had an ulterior motive. I thought maybe they'll hire him to be the voice of Ben Affleck, who did the speaking voice of Joseph. Ben Affleck. So they really liked the song, which was great, and they didn't hire David. But wait, oh, no, it's not over yet. There's more. About 6, 8 months later, a while later, they had animated this song, this particular section of the film. And I was in a screening room there watching it, and Jeffrey Katzenberg was sitting behind me. And after they ran this song in the animation, I heard Jeffrey turn to the guy next to him and say, I like the other guy. So David got the gig.
Boom! Me and Ben. Me and Benny Boy.
Yep.
Get out of here, Matt Damon. It's me and Ben. Good Will Hunting the musical. Benny!
Yep.
I'm that other guy.
Probably not.
No?
I don't think so.
He still hasn't called.
I know. Well, that's all right. But anyway, it was a great coup, and I was really excited to work with my pal. And we're going to do that song now. And the song happens at a place in the movie where Joseph is at his lowest point. And he just has tried everything, and he just needs some outside help.
I thought I did what's right. I thought I had the answers. I thought I chose the surest road, but that road brought me here. So I put up a fight and told you how to help me. Now just when I have given up, the truth is coming clear. You know better than I. You know the way. I've let go the need to know why. For you know better than I. If this has been a test, I cannot see the reason, but maybe knowing I don't know is part of getting through. I try to do what's best, and faith has made it easy to see the best thing I can do is put my trust in you. For you know better than I. You know the way. I've let go the need to know why. For you know better than I. I saw one cloud and thought it was the sky. I saw a bird and thought that I could follow. But it was you who taught that bird to fly. If I let you reach me, will you teach me? For you know better than I. You know the way. I've let go the need to know why. I'll take what answers you supply. You know better than I. I turned my head to look back at us, and I fell into a puddle of love. Deeper than it had a right to be, as deep as anybody's ever loved for me. Fell into a puddle of love. Look at my face, look at your face, right in that oily rainbow, shining in that puddle of love. I lay there up to my heart in it, and I wondered if we need some ocean blue, deeper than we're ever meant to swim, so we could say we've never been all the way in. What's wrong with a puddle of love? Look at my face, look at your face, right in that oily rainbow, shining in a puddle of love. It's all comparative weight and size. You probably realize emotion emotions can be light as a piece of a styrofoam cup. Even the shallowest water can hold that up. More silent and sharp as broken glass, sinking down into the slime. Honey, in deeper water, the singing only takes more time. Jump. I got up, planning to clean my clothes, blow my nose and point my toes to dry land. Internal rhyming gets better there. You stand a fair chance against despair on dry land. Now Gobi, Mojave, Sahara can save me from a burial at sea. Just when I think I'm dry as glue, I'll get a little itchy for a splash or two, and maybe a bottle of love. Look at my face, look at your face, right in that oily rainbow, shining in a puddle of love, nothing but a puddle of love. Look at my face, look at your face, right in that oily rainbow, shining in a puddle of love.
So life wasn't through with me yet. A few years after the DreamWorks challenge, I got a phone call from a guy named Harvey Fierstein, who you may have heard of, prolific playwright, actor, astounding presence. Wrote Torch Song Trilogy, wrote the book for La Cage aux Folles, among many other musicals and plays, and just brilliant. I didn't know the guy, and he called because he had heard some songs of mine and wanted me to write a musical with him. And I actually did say no. This just felt too big. I'd never done a full-length musical, and to be working with a multiple Tony Award winner was just more than I thought I could do. So I said, no. And the more I said no, I should apply this to my love life, actually. The more I said no, the more he wanted me.
Right?
Wait a minute. And he kept pushing, and finally one afternoon I was up in Connecticut at his very nice house with his beautifully decorated living room, looking out over his fabulous swimming pool, sitting on his couch. And he turned to me and he said, "Listen, Cookie. La Cage bought me this house. What are you gonna retire on?" And I said, "I'll do it."
Yeah.
So what the musical was, it had quite a pedigree, actually. It was originally called The Catered Affair, and it was from a teleplay from the 50s by Paddy Chayefsky. And then it was made into a Bette Davis movie in the late 50s with a screenplay by Gore Vidal. And Harvey had always loved it and thought it would make a great musical. But Harvey changed, this is how smart he is, he changed the title from The Catered Affair to A Catered Affair so that it would come higher in the list, in the alphabetical listings in the newspaper.
Genius.
Brilliant. So the story of the show takes place in the 50s. It's a poor family living in the Bronx, and the father is a taxi driver, and the mother is kind of a hard, tough woman. She's had a hard life, and so it's kind of toughened her up, and she's not emotional. She doesn't express herself very well. And they have a son and a daughter, although at the beginning of the show, they've just come home from the son's memorial service because he was killed in the Korean War. Well, the father's lifelong dream is to own the medallion to his taxi. And they find out that they're going to get a death settlement from the government for their death of their son. And with the money that he's been able to scrape together over the course of their whole marriage, and this extra money, he would finally have enough to buy the medallion. But no, the mother has another idea. She, grieving her son, is now focusing all of her attention on her daughter, who's about to get married and was planning on eloping, doesn't want a wedding, and decides that she's going to spend all of their life savings to give the daughter a big wedding. So that is the basis of the show. And we're going to do a few songs from it. David will be playing several of the characters. In this first song, he'll be the daughter.
Typecast again.
Sure. What range this man has.
How old is she, John?
She's about 20.
20.
About 20, yeah. So, got it. So she is singing to her fiancé that she's never heard her parents express any affection at all to one another, never seen them kiss or hug, and she's saying to her fiancé that she doesn't want them to be that way.
Some people never say the way they feel, and I guess some just feel less. They never use those words that make love real. They won't go near the words as though they fear the words. But me, I must confess, I need to hear the words. Often to soften this doubtfulness. Please tell me, tickling my ear, for as long as it's sincere, don't ever stop saying I love you. Please give me every single day that 3-syllable bouquet. Don't ever stop saying I love you. Actions speak louder, sure. Love can endure without being told. But I need reminding, yes, a verbal caress to keep out the cold. So please, more than I could ever count, then quadruple that amount. Don't ever stop saying I love you. Continue to go where your heart is leading you. I want you so that I don't mind needing you. Please, I've been out here on my own. Now make your feelings known. Don't ever stop saying I love you. I need reminding lots, no diamonds or yachts, just whispered forget-me-nots. Please help me grow beyond my past. If you want this glow to last, don't ever stop saying I love you.
So the father, who has not sung really, certainly not had a solo throughout the whole show, he just keeps stuffing it down, and his wife keeps harassing him and belittling him and underappreciating him, and he just keeps stuffing it down and stuffing it down and stuffing it down, and finally, at the end of the show, he explodes.
Me again. It's always my fault. It's always, how have I let you down? It's always you the saint, me the sinner, me the miser, you the miser's wife. The disappointed one, put out, ticked off, spoiling for a fight. Well, let me tell you, Aggie, you're no fancy bargain, but your father got his money's worth in me. We always ate, the rent got paid. Day and night I worked my ass off and I stayed. 1,000 times I could have left, but I stayed. Even when you made me feel like dirt, I stayed. No matter how much my pride got hurt, I stayed. One step ahead of the bills and banks, not like I ever got any thanks, but I stayed. No matter how rough things been with us, I stayed. When your sisters both moved in with us, I stayed. When your brother needed money for the store, I could have shown him to the door, but I loaned him money, then I loaned him more and forgave the debt. A fact you managed to forget when you give me hell for every mistake I made. And as your tally of my faults begin to mount, the one big thing that never ever seems to count is that I stayed. Of course I want to give my kid a wedding, but I think blowing 20 years of savings on one night isn't right. Is that a crime? I can't just see my side of things this one time. I nearly had another piece of the medallion. I nearly made that dream come true. Maybe wanting it so much was being selfish, but I wanted it for you, to show you I could make a go, to prove I didn't need your father's dough. I stuck it out when times got tough to show you I was good enough, to show you I deserved you, and to prove to you, what's the use? Look around you, Aggie, everybody's leaving. In one way or another, they broke free. And the person you'll be living out your days with is me. What about me? I stayed. You say you're stuck in a loveless marriage? Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Don't put words into my mouth.
And Harvey also wrote a part for himself in the show, not surprisingly the gay uncle, who was kind of the voice of reason and kind of the objective eye over the whole show. And about 3/4 of the way through, he sings a version of this song to his sister, Aggie, encouraging her, reminding her of when they were kids, and encouraging her to open up her eyes and appreciate the love that's offered to her in her life, to just soften up a little bit and not be so hard and so guarded. And then later on, at the very end of the show, the whole cast sings this reprise of that song. It's called Coney Island. We stumble around this complicated world, a scary place where no one has the perfect book of rules for getting through it, so afraid we've got it wrong, somehow sure we're in it all alone, even as we're walking hand in hand. Think about a moment in your life, a time when you were feeling like a frightened little kid on a roller coaster. From the start you closed your eyes, and at the end you looked all lost and sad. You paid your money, took the ride, but missed the view. You're halfway through another ride. Don't wait until the scary feelings pass. Just take a breath and open up your eyes right now. So this is a three-songer. We're back to that again. I moved to New York because of the, writing for musical theater in 1992, but I had moved to New York for about an 8-month period back in 1980, when I was 12. Okay, no, that's not true. But back in 1980 with a partner, and we had no money, and we moved to an area called the Bowery, which at the time was a really terrible area, actually. It was a very rough area, but it's all we could afford. It's on the Lower East Side, which is now actually very trendy. But at the time, we would walk over like broken hypodermic needles on our doorstep, and it was very scary. But it was also colorful and quaint and charming, and when you're in love, it doesn't matter. And there was a saxophone player who lived next door, and I would hear him practicing, and I would jam along. I don't know if you heard me, but it was just fun. And the street people would rush up and wipe the windows of the cars when they'd come to a stop sign, hoping that they would give them some change. And there were a lot of artists in our building and in our neighborhood. And it was, it's a fond memory for me, and it gave birth to lots of songs. And now that wasn't until he tried to kill me with a butcher knife, but that was later.
It's another show, John.
Yeah, it's another show. But anyway, we're going to do 3 songs that sort of form the arc of a relationship.
The saxophone across the hall screams for harmony. Another voice, a counterpoint, some company. Sing those blues, lonely saxophone. I'll try to give you what you need. Sing those blues, lonely saxophone. I'll try to give you what you need. The derelict flags down the cars on the Bowery with a dirty rag and his paper bag for company. Sing those blues, brother, down and out. I'll try to give you what you need. Sing those blues, brother, down and out. I'll try to give you what you need. If you tell yourself you're satisfied, nothing better will be found. But when it grows so dark you howl for the moon, well, at least it gets your eyes up off the ground. Love, I don't need my windshield to lead. You can have it all for free. Another voice, a counterpoint, some company. But sing those blues, will you anyway? 'Cause I can't give you what you need. Sing those blues with me. Take my hand and we'll go look for what we need. If I ever say I'm over you, the unsentimental things I do will have driven out the ghosts somehow and pulled me through. If I tend to disregard your touch, well, it seems to me it would be such a waste of time to let this poor heart feel that much. But sometimes a photograph can make me cry or force a laugh, and somehow the memory of how complete we used to be is keeping me from you. If you ever hear me doubt the past, it's a simple fact, we didn't last. Run aground on hard times while the good times flew too fast. I'm not sure if we can make amends. This may be the way our story ends, with too little left for lovers and too much for friends. But sometimes a photograph can make me cry or force a laugh, and somehow the memory of how complete we used to be is keeping me from you. So don't believe it's true if I ever say I'm over
I am a very, very lucky composer to have this guy singing my songs. Because not only, I'm sorry I'm going to gush, David, I know you don't like it, but I have to. Not only that gorgeous voice, but he's such a good actor, and these songs really call for that. And thank you, my friend.
Oh, no, thank you for writing the song. I love this stuff.
So we've come to the end of our little journey together, sadly, because you're lovely. It's nice to spend time with you. Everybody here at the Hayes Theater, my gosh, if this is your first time here, you discovered what a lovely place it is, come back. Come and support the people who make art here, because they need your support.
Yes, we do.
Yes, you do. Yes. And most, perhaps, importantly, thank you for coming.
Thank you, guys. You were great.
You were great. Thanks.
All right. Oh, we should let you know that this is the last song, but
Not really.
there's another song.
Nah.
But we're not going to do the whole walking off and, oh, what a surprise, we're coming back. We're not going to do it. That's no. We're just going to.
We're just gonna.
But we're going to act like this is the last.
Okay.
Song. Yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
It's no good. It's too packed. I can't just sing a final song, say so long and leave it at that. It's alright, I've got time. So I didn't hitch a ride on the rocket to the top. I'll get there in a steady climb. What did it mean? What have I learned? Crossing bridges before they're burned, leading life instead of being led. Using my head, what's it about? Did I lose innocence going in or gain experience coming out? What did it mean? What have I learned? Eating off tables before they're turned, living life instead of playing dead. Throwing down the pencil and grabbing a pen, taking the wheel, driving again. Throwing down the pencil and writing in ink. This is how I feel, this is what I think. Dreaming again and making those dreams real. No big deal, I'll hit my stride. If I'm not breaking the ribbon at the end of the race, it's only cause I haven't tried. What did it mean? What have I learned? Taking the credit I know I've earned. Waking up and flying out of bed. Rolling down the dreams real. Taking the wheel. Yeah, I've been in the backseat long enough, tagging along for the ride. I've been in the backseat long enough to know that you never get what you deserve if you never can decide. There's only one way to get where you wanna go. Throwing down the pencil and grabbing a pen, taking the wheel, driving again. Throwing down the pencil and writing in ink. This is how I feel. This is what I think. Dreaming again and making those dreams real. Taking the wheel. Joe McKenna, everybody. I've been in the backseat long enough. I'm tagging along for the ride. I've been in the backseat long enough to know that you never get what you deserve if you never can decide. There's only one way to get where you wanna go. Throwing down the pencil and grabbing a pen, taking the wheel, driving again. Throwing down the pencil and writing in ink. This is how I feel. This is what I think. Dreaming again and making those dreams real. I'm dreaming again and making those dreams real. Dreaming again and making those dreams so real. Taking the wheel. Joe McKenna. See how we did that?
What a surprise, really? So this is, I guess, my best known song. And if you're gonna be known for a song, I'm really glad it's this one. Thanks again.
I've got a roof over my head. I've got a warm place to sleep. Some nights I lie awake counting gifts instead of counting sheep. I've got a heart that can hold love. I've got a mind that can think. There may be times when I lose the light and let my spirit sink, but I can't stay depressed when I remember how I'm blessed. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. In a city of strangers, I've got a family of friends. know that they will stay until the end. I feel a hand holding my hand. It's not a hand you can see, but on the road to the promised land, this hand will shepherd me through delight and despair, holding tight and always there. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. It's not that I don't want a lot, or hope for more, or dream of more, but giving thanks for what I've got makes me so much happier than keeping score in a world that can bring pain. I will still take each chance, for I believe that whatever the terrain, our feet can learn to dance. Whatever stone life may sling, we can moan or we can sing. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. Truly blessed and duly grateful. Thanks a lot, everybody. John McKenna. Where are you going? That was the show. Maybe they've got to validate their parking or something at the front.
Bathroom.
Bathroom. I mean, it's not that long a show. Maybe if you've paced yourself.
Or if you hadn't had that giant, soft drink.
Yeah. Well, that is pretty good though. If you supersize up.
Wow.
And you're sitting there with your popcorn.
Until an hour later when you're desperate to leave.
Do you think they clapped in the cinemas?
Know. Well, I guess we won't know unless maybe we should sneak in and sit in the back.
Yeah, right.
And see what the reaction is.
Right, producer style.
Do we want to know?
I don't think I want to know. Maybe they could just Facebook us or email us.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that's good. We do hope you enjoyed it though. Thank you so much.
We enjoyed it.
We did enjoy it. I'm not happy with myself on a big wide screen.
I'm sitting at the piano.
No, I mean now.
Oh.
See? See how scary that is?
Oh my God.
We're big heads at the moment.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
David, thank you.
Oh, I feel like I've got a lot of fluids, in my face. We should just go. Let them go.
Okay, bye-bye.
You can go. See ya.